All right, so thank you so much for that reminder. Basically, last week, what we were doing, it was a continuation of business opportunities. So in business opportunities, we went further to see the factors that one can consider when he or she is trying to grab an opportunity in the business space. Now, the first thing one can do, we said, is to scan the environment. Now, scanning the environment, that is to analyze the environment to see if at all it is conducive for him or her to take up that step and start the business that he or she wants to go into. So now we said in trying to scan the environment, there are some tools that can be used. And some of the tools we saw, we said we have pastel analysis, and there is another tool, we call it SWOT analysis. Others call it SWOT analysis. These are just acronyms. Now, we went further to see what these acronyms are all about. So, for example, the pastel, we saw that it stands for a lot of things. P stands for something else, E stands for something else, and so on and so forth. But now those things, the P's, the E's, S, the T's, whatever, those are the factors that one may consider when he or she is trying to grab an opportunity and venture himself into the business space. Knowing that the business opportunities that are there, they are of different kinds, different types, and of course, we discussed those ones last time. Now, then we are proceeding. Now today, we are trying to look at feasibility studies. Now, these are project feasibility studies. I can put it this way. Project feasibility studies. Now, it can do us a lot of good to at least try to see what it means by feasibility study. Then from there, we will apply it in this context of a project implementation. Now, probably a simple and direct question would be, what is feasibility study? Of course, I know it is something that we know, we've been hearing, we've been applying, maybe in our workplaces. I mean, it's not something which is new, or that's what I'm saying. Feasibility study, when we hear this one, what is feasibility study, by the way? Feasibility study. I want us to at least make some noise this morning. So I will need somebody to start that noise for us, just by telling us what feasibility study is. Pakut, you start the ball for us? Are we going to start the ball rolling for us? Not yet. Not yet? By the way, is this name, are you Zimbabwean or something? Oh, wonderful. I would see the name, Pakudzwa. Takudzwa. What does Takudzwa mean? Like we've been raised above. All right. Are you disagreeing with him or? Okay. What does it? Are you joking? Anyway, it's okay. All right, fine. So anyway, we are talking about feasibility study. So basically, feasibility studies are studies that are used to ascertain the viability of an idea, or to determine the viability of an idea. So the studies that are conducted are in order for us to determine whether an idea is viable or not. Those ones we call them feasibility studies. All right, we say these are studies that are used to determine the viability of an idea. The viability of an idea. Now, viability, that is something which is going to give us the returns that we are looking for, or the returns that we're intending to get. So I have this idea, but is this idea doable? Is this idea really going to give me what I'm looking for? So that's the viability of something. So by conducting those studies, what we are doing there, we say that's feasibility. So we can look at it as the legality of what we are trying to introduce, whether it is, so ladies and gentlemen, spare me with your mobile devices. Please kindly allow me to do this thing a bit. Okay, so when we are looking at the viability of something, you can look at it technically. Is this technically going to be doable? Is this financially going to be doable? Is this legally going to be doable? That is the idea that you have. By doing that, asking yourself questions, doing some research so that you can answer those questions, what you are doing there is what we call feasibility studies. So now there can be many reasons why you do that. What are some of the reasons why you may want to conduct feasibility studies? There can be scenarios where the idea that you want to introduce will require you to spend a lot on it or to invest a lot. Now, you do the study to find out if it is really viable. Are you going to manage to finance or to fund the idea that is there? So first of all, before you start dipping your hands into your pocket, first of all, you have to find out if really you are going to do this. Apart from that one, we are assuming that once you invest, you want some returns. First of all, you also have to find out whether after that investment, you are going to also get some returns. That is, again, you are looking at the financial now viability of this one. Is it financially viable? I'm going to invest 1 million in, but how much am I going to get at the end of the day? So, nevertheless, there are some areas, specific areas of feasibility studies for a particular project or for any project. So, for us to understand it fully, probably we should look at those areas of project feasibility. Areas of project feasibility. What are the specific areas we always look at? Since we are looking at the project's potential success, that's what we are looking for. It is always good for us to segment that project. We are assuming that this thing is our project. Now we want to ascertain its feasibility, its viability. Now, for us to understand its feasibility, for us to study it in a more, in a simpler way, we need to segment this project that is here. So, let us try to have these segments and we see them probably one by one, so that at least at the end of the day, we will be able to ascertain that yes, this is a project worth pursuing, or maybe this one we should not pursue. Now, I think we should look at 5 major segments of project feasibility. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So, let us look at these 5 major segments of project feasibility. The first one should be this one. We have just chosen randomly, and this one should be market analysis. That's the first segment of project feasibility. Now, here, this is what happens. You have an idea. You have you have identified a gap in the market, and that is an opportunity you want to grab and introduce a product or a service. But first of all, you have to see whether the market is already there. Is there a ready market there that once you introduce your product, the market is going to receive you, or is going to receive the product or the service? That's the first thing. Because now, all what you are doing here, whether you are a service provider, you are becoming a service provider, or you are a producer or a distributor of a certain product, at the end of the day, all you are looking for is customers. You need people to buy the product or the service. Now, when you are doing the market analysis, you look at two things in market analysis. For example, that is current demand and potential demand. Right? So you look at these two things when you are trying to analyze the market. Here is the idea you have, and now there in front of you is the potential market, or is your audience, that is. And that audience is the one that you are trying to turn into your market. Those are to become your customers, that is. Now, you have to analyze, you have to conduct a study and see whether there is already an existing demand. And if there's an existing demand, fine and good. But when you are setting up a business, you also look at the sustainability of your business. So whether there is an existing demand here, but how about tomorrow and the other day? Is this demand going to be there? Is it going to grow? Or is it going to decline? So we are talking about now the potential demand. So while you are analyzing this market, you look at it through those two angles. So at times, there can be situations where the current demand is there. After you've gone into the field, you've conducted your research, you've realized that yes, there's so much demand. Once you introduce your product or the service, the people are going to buy, are going to take that one. But then that one encourages you to go on. But there can be some other situations where you go out there, you find that there is no existing demand there. Currently, there is no demand. But by studying and analyzing some other factors, you realize that demand is going to be there. So we call that one potential demand. So by doing that one, your conclusion to this will tell you whether to go ahead with the idea that you have or not to go ahead. So the studies that you've conducted here, or the market analysis that you've conducted here, is part of the feasibility study. Now, this idea that I have, market-wise, it is feasible because already there is an existing demand, and there is also potential for growth. There is potential demand here. So I think we are good to go. That one, we take it that we are okay. But just seeing the market and having the assurance that yes, currently there is demand, and probably in future demand is still there, there is potential, that one is not enough. There is also another segment of the same that we need to also look at. Now, the other critical segment of your project feasibility study is what we call management analysis. That one. That's the second segment. So, you can have the market and you are so sure. Yeah, do sign and spare me the mobile phone, please. So, we are saying, you can be sure of the market there after conducting your studies here. And actually, I forgot one more thing here. When you're doing your market research, you can use many ways, and the simplest way, I'm not being technical here now, the simplest way is the engagement of third parties, or we call them consultants, market research consultants. Those are the ones who are going to go technical in doing this research for you. Of course, there are quite a lot of them out there that you hire. They go out there, do this thing for you. So that was market analysis. Then we are saying management analysis. Now, as you are going out there, setting up your business, there are a lot of things that you need to manage. There is a lot of coordination that is involved in there. A lot of things happen. And for those things to happen successfully, that is, in order for you to succeed in your business, it means whoever is handling specific issues must be people who are well conversant with what they are doing, people who are competent with what they are doing, people who are experts and experienced. Therefore, here is an idea, and there is a market, and you are sure that the market is going to give you what you are expecting. But the next question is, am I capable? Do I have a team which is capable of helping me to achieve what I want to achieve? That's management analysis. So the skills and talent, the skills, experience, and talent of the management team or personnel involved in your business or project should also be included and should be studied accordingly. Now, as we speak, you only have the idea, and you only conducted the market research. The next thing is to see who is with me. In my management team, who are there? Are they experienced? Are they talented? Are they skilled? This is very, very important. Your failure to do this, or if you fail to find positive answers in these questions, it means you're not ready to go. You are not ready to go, because you only be ready to go once you know that at least I have capable people, or I'll be able to gather or bring together people who are capable, and they will successfully help me to implement whatever we are trying to implement here. At times, there is always a problem where you can have people who are experienced, people who are talented, and of course, people who are skilled. Yes, sir. Morning. That's the answer. All right, so we were saying, when you are here as part of studying the viability of your business, you look at the people that will be working with you, that is part of management team, their capabilities, talent, experience, skills, and so on and so forth. This one can give you a go-ahead or probably a yellow card, if not a red card for that matter. So then I was saying, at times it happens that you may have those people with you, talented, skilled, experienced, and so on and so forth. But at times, misallocation of these resources, because these are resources, right? Human resources. Misallocation of these resources can also render your idea, business idea, probably not viable, can make it to be difficult to be viable or feasible. Why? Because somebody is an expert in ICT, for example. Now, that one you are assigning to do some other accounting stuff and so on and so forth. The chances are the effectiveness will be taken into question. Somebody who is an HR expert, you are assigning that person to handle ICT, whatever stuff. Probably the performance of that person can also be called into question. So here on management analysis, one, you find out who is with me, who are capable, and so on and so forth. At the same time, proper allocation of responsibilities and the duties can be key in the feasibility and the viability of the idea. Um, then we have another segment here of project feasibility, and we call this one technical this one should be technical feasibility. Now, here there are two things. We have technical resources, and then we have technical know-how. Okay, so a technical feasibility here, we look at it in two via two angles here: technical resources and technical know-how. So now, this assessment basically focuses on these two. We are assuming that the idea that we have will require us to have some machinery, or maybe to employ and deploy some technologies. The question will be, are we do we have what it takes to acquire this kind of machinery? Do we have what it takes to acquire this kind of technology? Are we in a position to bring that technology with us and at least put it to use? Is a question. Now, your answer to this can determine whether you should proceed with the idea, or you should shelve it, or you should adjust it or modify it. See, there can be some other technologies that their capabilities can probably catapult us from where we were to somewhere else, and everybody will be looking at us, say, oh, look at these people now, they are gone, right? There are those technologies, but the thing is, do we have what it takes to bring those technologies closer so that at least we use them? If not, let us adjust the idea we have, let us shelve the idea we have, or let us modify the idea we have. That is it. Technical resources, technical wise, that is. And then the same technical feasibility, as I said, also focuses on the technical know-how, our capabilities to handle and manage the technical aspects of whatever technologies we are employing or we are bringing home. So this technical feasibility also involves evaluating either the hardware, the software, or other technological requirements that we may need from time to time. However, caution should be taken when we are doing technical feasibility. While we are looking at technical resources, so we are assuming that resource-wise we are capable, we'll be able to bring the resources home. Okay, it's okay, fine. And then technical know-how, there are people that we know are capable or will be capable of handling and taking care of the technologies or the machinery we are bringing here. But the technologies also should not be exaggerated. What do we mean by exaggerating the technologies? The technologies you are bringing forth should be compatible, at least compatible with your needs, with what you are trying to do. Because otherwise, there is a risk of wastage of those resources. We are assuming that with your the customer base you have, we are assuming that you are running a bakery, and as per the customers that you have or the potential that you are seeing here ahead of you, every day you're supposed to be baking or producing 100 loaves of bread. That is it. Now you are procuring a machinery that is capable of producing 100 loaves of bread or more of fine and good. But now, here is another piece of machinery that is capable of producing 1,000 pieces of bread per hour. But now, as per your market that is there, as per the demand that is there, the demand is all about 100 loaves of bread per day. Now, this machinery that you are spotting, that you are admiring, has the capability, its capacity is that of producing 1,000 loaves of bread per hour. It means per day how many loaves of bread are you going to be producing. So the thing is, this technology, you can bring it here, but probably it will be underutilized. So it will be underutilized, but the problem is you will still be maintaining it. So it will be costing you more, yet what it is giving you is less. So on that one, then we will say your investment in this kind of technology is not having any economic sense. It doesn't have any economic sense. So that's the exaggeration of this technical feasibility, the exaggeration of technologies, and that is part of technical feasibility. So all we are saying here in a nutshell is when you're doing this technical feasibility, you look at the resources, the technical know-how, and again, be on the lookout for technological exaggeration. At least avoid it at all costs. But nevertheless, one can also agree with me that it is important to have something which has a bigger capacity so that if you want to expand your operations, you'll be able to do so. So if you bring a technology that is elastic, that's fair enough. A technology that is a bit elastic, that's fair enough. Then we have another also segment of this feasibility, and this one, it should be economic feasibility. So economic feasibility. Here, what we are looking at is when you are investing into a business, all what you want are returns. You want profits. So it cannot make sense spending your money in something that is going to give you losses at the end of the day. So to avoid this, there is analysis that is conducted here, and we call that one cost benefit analysis. Now the thing is, how much am I going to spend here, and how much am I going to get as returns? This one will determine the viability of the business. There are some people actually who may be so much excited in getting into a business just for people to see them that our in business because my endera. Look at him, look at her, he is into that business or this business, and well, I think the guy is doing it big. This lady is a hustler, and so on and so forth. But looking closely, he is not making any profit at all. That one is a problem, because at the end of the day, that business is going to die unless otherwise that business is going to die, or else some other things are going to suffer. There are some other things that are going to suffer, because it can be possible that you are running that business and you're not making profits, but you still want to sustain that business for the sake of sustaining it, but yet it is not giving you any profit. Now, how are you going to sustain it? It means you be forcing yourself to get resources from elsewhere and inject into this business just to keep going, just to see that it is moving. So it means those other areas are going to suffer. So all we are saying here is to see and to ascertain and determine the credibility of the idea we have. Economic wise, you need to do the analysis. So now, after you had an idea with you, after you studied all those other factors, we saw area in the previous conversations. After we saw those ones and you were satisfied, then you wanted to take a step. Now, as you are taking a step, you have an idea on the table. Then you had to go for a feasibility study. Then you started with the market analysis. You are sure that no, this one was okay, and you ticked. This one you ticked. So no, I mean the market you ticked is fine. Then you went to the management. This one you also ticked. You say no, this one is okay. Then now there was a question of technical feasibility. Here also, at least you feel like you're good to go, fine. But now, here comes economic feasibility. Zone says all these things are good. But if I am to invest in this one, how much, how am I going to get the profits and all? If the answer is negative, kind of, I think it's good to think twice, go back to the drawing board and at least rethink. Now, when one is doing this analysis that we are seeing here, one principle that is there and needs to be observed every time somebody is conducting feasibility studies is objectivity. Objectivity is one of the key principles when you are conducting feasibility studies. Because with objectivity, there will be no biasness. There will be no biasness. And at the end of the day, you are going to make informed decisions. Because the reason why you embark on this feasibility study is to make sure that you make an informed decision. A decision which is going to help you to be productive, that is, or to help your idea to be productive. So first of all, you have to be objective. You have to be honest to yourself. So you want to introduce a particular product into the market, but as you are conducting your research, the market research and technical feasibility and so on and so forth, you realize that that one is not going to be viable. But you love the product or you love the service. The best you can do is not to bow down to your love, but to bow down to the facts that are there, the results that you are getting there. You are coming from elsewhere. Probably you are coming from UK, you are coming from South Africa, you are coming from Dubai, I don't know. Now, there was a service that you felt and you enjoyed actually when you were there in UK or you were there elsewhere. You enjoyed that service. Then you say, no, now I'm back home. Let me introduce this service onto the market. But now, after conducting the research, your analysis, market analysis and all, even the technical feasibility, you realize that the results that you are getting are all negative. Then, but at the back of your mind, you are still feeling like, well, this is the brilliant idea, and of course the service is just fantastic because we used to enjoy this in UK. No, anyway, let's force it onto the market. Malawians will learn how to make use of this service and enjoy the way I did also. This is not objectivity, because now there is biasness. The biasness is coming from the background of the affinity, the love that you have or you had, or the best experience that you had with this service, but not the reality on the ground. So this principle says at least you have to go by the reality that is there on the ground. So that's the objectivity we are talking about. Otherwise, this thing is going to fail. So there was a time in Malawi here, some years back, 3-4 years if I'm not wrong, there were some guys who tried to introduce this public transport service. We call it what? Uber. It is there in some other countries. And also these other guys tried to introduce here in Malawi. I'm not so sure if it is still there, but I don't think. For some reasons, it failed. I can't really say the reasons why it failed. Maybe those people would be in a better position to explain to us why the idea failed. But probably we can assume that it was to do with this segment here and probably that segment. Because now, for you to make use of that service, you need smartphones, of course. You need access to the internet and all those things. And again, so here, technical resources and technical know-how, so that at least you can manage to do whatever happens, booking and so on and so forth. Even the operators, the drivers, they should know how to operate this thing and so on and so forth. And not only this one, but even the infrastructures we have in our country, in our cities here, probably could not allow. So the thing is, those people, they had an idea, but now to put it into practice, it failed. We cannot blame them that maybe they never conducted feasibility studies. No, we don't know unless we talk with them. But now the reality on the ground said otherwise. So probably they conducted the research or the feasibility studies, but the reality said otherwise. There was a time, some years back, I think some 12, 14 years ago, if I'm not wrong, here in Malawi, the government tried to put up something after realizing the challenges we always face as a landlocked country. For example, we do not have access to the sea, so our imports and exports are always very expensive. Then people said, okay, what if we try to find a way of getting ourselves access to the sea, and we should find a passage, and that passage was what you used to call what? Nsanje World Inland Port, right? They were trying to construct that one that could connect Indian Ocean to Nsanje here via Zambezi and Shire River. But now we invested a lot. The government invested a lot of money, millions of dollars were spent there. But end result, it failed to materialize. Asking why, some people say it was lack of feasibility studies, because feasibility studies were not conducted adequately. So what happens? We failed to realize what we wanted. What else? We lost money. A lot of money was lost in there. So that is just an example. So even to any other project we can try to embark on, our personal projects, whether at an organizational level or at an individual level, there are those risks of losing money and of course time and of course energy. If we rush in doing things without going through these studies. And there is also another area which is very, very good. This one should be okay. Tinkobwereka nawo segment ina tipeze segment ina. Achuluke ma segment wa segment imene kale E. Are there anyone of us here who has been in Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia or UAE, United Arab Emirates? Nevertheless, those countries have laws that restrict the sale of alcohol. Just one example. They have laws that restrict the sale of alcohol. Now, and of course there are reasons, there are background reasons, of course we see those reasons at a later stage, but Now, let us just look at the laws that are governing that kind of an industry or a trade. So here in Malawi, you are running your clubs around. You have your clubs and you enjoy yourself, seeing people enjoying themselves as well. But then you decided to expand further beyond the borders. Then you found yourself in Saudi Arabia. Then you are there, you find your place, then you open up a pub. What next? You see those people coming for you. I'm in it for a statement. We need to record your statement. What are we talking about here? Definitely, you find yourself contravening the laws there. So it means when you are trying to introduce an idea, at least also you have to look at the legality of the idea that you are trying to introduce. Therefore, what we are talking about here is legal feasibility. Legal feasibility, that's another segment that we need to look at. So, this assessment or this study investigates whether any aspect of the proposed project conflicts with legal requirements of the area you are trying to operate in. For example, the zoning laws, data protection acts, social media laws, and so on and so forth. So you have an idea here. You want to introduce that idea. But first of all, you have to investigate and see whether any aspect, whether the entire business is in contravention with the laws, applicable laws, or some aspects of that business are in contravention or can be in contravention with any of the laws applicable in that particular land. Should you find that, yes, there are some aspects of this business that may, in the long run, contravene the laws, at least you need to adjust and you need to probably go back to your drawing board and rework. So we are looking at the legality or the legal feasibility. So we say is either we look at the entire business idea you have, whether legal-wise it is going to be legally friendly, or else some aspects of it. So the example that I tried to put across of you trying to set up a business elsewhere in a place where the sale of alcohol is prohibited, all right, fine, that's one other example. I can also take you to this other example of just looking at some aspects of your business. In Malawi here now, opening up a club, a bar, or a pub is not is not prohibited by law, right? It is not. You can go there and get your license. Of course, the only thing they'll tell you is the zoning. Maybe they will just give you the zones. This is a residential area, you cannot put up this thing, or this is, and so on and so forth. But they'll give you a license to operate what? A bar. But in some countries, you find that there are clubs, one can open up a club, and there can be some other things happening in that club. For example, others, they host what we call strip shows, you know them. And others, they have things like should we call them brothels, kind of, where, okay, like facilities in that club where people can go, they are drinking, they're enjoying themselves, whatever. They will go there. It's more or less like a room like this one. I can't call it a hostel or something, but it's a room like this one. They pay, they go there. There are prostitutes there. They will sleep with them. And what those people be doing is like somebody is sleeping there and another pair is there, another pair is there, another pair is there, just like that, and they pay for that one. And this one goes to the owner of that club. And in those countries, that one is okay. They got licenses for that. But how about in Malawi here? So suppose you saw that concept elsewhere, whether you were in Ireland and those liberal countries. Then you say, no, I think that was fantastic. Let me introduce it in Malawi here. Yes, they will give you the license to operate the bar, but will they allow you to do all those other things? No. So when you're introducing that idea, be careful, do your studies and see, consult with the applicable laws and see whether you can proceed with that one or you cannot. That's legal feasibility. So the zoning, again, as I said, is also another thing that is part of the legal feasibility that you need to also study. Now, you are trying to put up a project, as we are saying, so you are looking at its feasibility. Let us look at another area also, which is important for you to look at. This one should be schedule feasibility. Schedule feasibility. At some point, you may always want to put up something or to implement something, but you have to be reasonable with the time that you have or the period that will require you to finish that one. So here there are some questions you may ask yourself, like a question that you may ask yourself, like, do our company or does this company currently have the time or resources to undertake this project? Or can this project be completed in the available time? Those are important questions. Somebody afuna kuumba njero wants to put up bricks. Not the blocks but these are the ordinary bricks that we know. Now here what we do when we are making those bricks, we make the bricks, then we come up with an oven, then we burn them, then off we proceed. Now, in Malawi here we receive rains around the month of what? Is it November, right? Oh, November. Yes, November only. Then in November, since now the project in question here, you really need it. You really need this project to be done as soon as possible. Then in November, you start now making the bricks. The chances are the rains can come in and disturb you. So you have to be realistic now when you are setting your timelines, your schedules, that is. So are the schedules feasible or not? Do we have time? So when you're talking about the schedule feasibility, that is time that we feel we can manage to complete this thing has also to be realistic. Now, if you were to take this example of somebody who was trying to make bricks, if the guy wasn't realistic enough, he started his job in November, then 2 weeks later, the rains came, what happened? Or what is going to happen? All those bricks are going to be destroyed. All his investments will go down the drain. So it's a loss to him. So it means whatever he was trying to introduce was not feasible, was not doable, was not viable. But we are trying to make this thing, this project here, doable or viable. So at least the schedules, that person was supposed to be also realistic. And there is another aspect also of the feasibility study, and this one imene iyi ikhale cultural or social feasibility. So there is a saying, people always say, mind your own business. I mind my own business. They mind their own business. But when you're doing business, you don't do business in space or in vacuum. Wherever you are going to do business, there are people around you there. There are competitors around there. There are law enforcers around there. I mean, you do not just operate in space. Therefore, you also have to consider the cultures and the social setting So, if you say, I'm minding my own business, let me do my stuff here, it's my money, so what? Actually, after all, I have my own customers. But culturally and socially, how are people going to see you doing, that? We are assuming that the kind of business I was giving an example with just a couple of minutes ago, I was saying, no, you're opening a club, and then you're having these aspects. Now we are assuming that the laws of Malawi are allowing you to do so. They have given you the license, and you are at liberty to do whatever you can, to introduce whatever you can in your club. Now people have come to know that, hey, mukapita ku area 49 huko kapena ku area 25 huko, there is that club, and this is what happens if you go there and see, hey, my friend is Makalo. I don't think kuti anthu akuonera ni kukonda zikhala zinthu zovuta kwambiri. So you are going to get a backlash. The community is going to resist. And the resistance, we cannot determine the extent of that resistance. Maybe they will stone you to death. They can destroy that, or they can burn it. Anything can happen, you see. So at the end of the day, the business is going to fail. The business is going to not to be viable. So your idea is not viable. So first, look also at the cultures and the social setting as it is. The social fabric, so to say, socially. Now, when you're talking about social things, I think culture and social issues are also to do with religions or religious beliefs, traditional beliefs, and so on and so forth. All these ones, they come together. So you're introducing an idea or a service. At least you also have to think about the beliefs. It's either the cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, and so on and so forth. These ones will determine the viability of what you're trying to do, or the failure of what you were attempting to do. Last but not least, resource feasibility. Let us take this one. Resource feasibility. Now here, this one, the resource feasibility is different from this one. At least we should notice the difference, right? At least we should be able to understand the difference that is there. Here, Timagama's economic feasibility, where we were saying, is the investment that I'm putting in this one worth it? Am I going to get the returns? That was what we were discussing here. But now, on the resource feasibility, here we are talking about, do I have what it takes? Do I have money? We can have brilliant and beautiful business ideas. I believe all of us here is either we have those beautiful business ideas, or if we can assign each other here to say, guys, let's go out there and come up with business ideas by a Friday or by Monday next week. Trust you me, we are going to have very, very beautiful business ideas. We'll be saying, wow, oh, okay. You know, but now the next thing here is, do I have what it takes? Do I have the resources? Where am I going to get the resources? And this is where most of the people will always fail and just resign or just retreat when it comes to the resources. So when you are having that idea, the viability of it also will be determined by your ability to mobilize the resources. Is either you mobilize the resources from investors, lending institutions, your own savings, family, and whichever. But your ability to bring the resources together or to mobilize the resources together will determine whether what you are thinking is going to be doable or is not going to be doable. So, last one of these segments, this one, the operational feasibility. Operational feasibility. So basically, This is the study that is actually looking at the, where are you? You don't know where we are. Okay, so we were here, this segment here, operational feasibility. So this assessment actually involves undertaking a study to analyze and determine whether and how well the organization's need can be met by completing the project. Oh, all right. Okay. I was saying this assessment involves undertaking a study. It involves undertaking a study to analyze and determine whether and how, undertaking a study to analyze and determine whether and how well the organization's needs can be met by completing the project. Whether and how well the organization's needs can be met by completing the project. So when we are introducing this idea or the project that we want to put up, we want to solve a certain problem. The chances are we want to solve a certain problem. Now, you ask yourself, but truly, is this project, upon completing it, is it going to give us the results that we want? Is it going to solve this problem that we are looking for? Are we sure? You see, so if we are not sure, for example, we go back and look at it again, because we can go through all these things we have seen and we are passing, we are okay. The market is going to koza kuteka management anthu otha ntchito tili nawo nditu ligale notiloledwa papa technically gadali ma technologies tibweretsa and all these other things, but at the end of the day, is it going to solve the problem we want to? So that is operational feasibility. Okay, so let us quickly look at the benefits of conducting feasibility studies. The take-home message, first of all, is that we want the project to be doable, right? To be doable, and it should give us whatever it takes. So, a feasibility study, that's one thing. A feasibility study can help organizations to uncover new ideas. A feasibility study can help organizations to uncover new ideas that could completely change a project's scope. A project idea could a feasibility study could or can uncover new ideas that probably could change the project's scope. That is a benefit. You had an idea like this, but upon conducting a feasibility study, you are discovering something. So, no, I think tisapanga jonji, komatitapanga jonji ziteka. So, what is happening? You are not aborting the whole idea. No, that's not what you're doing. Instead, you are modifying it for the better. You see? So meaning that without the study, probably you would have proceeded, but losing your money in the process. But through this study, now you are able to modify it, and of course, you are proceeding. Again, conducting a feasibility study can also give you and other stakeholders a clear picture of the proposed project. You have a clear picture of the proposed project. Why? Because you conducted this study or these studies. So Um, Feasibility studies will provide the stakeholders with a clear picture of the proposed project. A clear picture of the proposed project. So you've proposed a project, here's a project, but now by looking at the technical feasibility, you have an idea that technically, I think here we are lacking. Here we are okay, but we need to do this to improve. Legal wise, I think we shall need to abide by that particular legislation or that one.